What's up, boys and girls? Vamia Bird here with a new video for you guys, and today we're going to be diving into one of the hidden gems of the RPG game genre, Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma is an open world fantasy RPG that was made by Capcom, released all the way back in 2012, so this game is dated. I just want to state though that I am not here to completely bash the game. I'm not saying that the game is bad. There's a reason why this game is called a hidden gem. This game is actually really good. It just has a few flaws that make the game a lot more tedious. If you guys agree with what I say in this video, please leave it in the comment sections below. If you don't though, also leave it in the comment section below so we can have a discussion about it. I would love to know how you guys think. I'm just gonna get right into it. There is just too many escort quests. It's okay to have escort quests every once in a while, and I know these escort quests actually increase your affinity with the NPCs that you're escorting, and that these NPCs may or may not help you out in future quests. But the thing is, where you're escorting them from point A to point B is just so far, and you have no control over your pawns. You have no control over the person that you're escorting. So I was doing this escort quest once where I was supposed to escort him from Grand Sorin, and we got to this cliff part where there was a Cyclops, right? And the Cyclops was easy. The Cyclops and bandits are easy, but the thing is, I couldn't control where the escort was going, and I couldn't control what my pawns were doing. I couldn't control what the Cyclops and the bandits were doing. And I don't even know how, but I think the Cyclops yeeted my freaking NPC off the cliff and he died, which automatically made me fail the quest. All of that running just for nothing. All that running for nothing. And for something that I couldn't even control. Probably I could have done the fight better, you know, killed the Cyclops faster or something like that. But ultimately, I did not have any control over that. And with the absence of fast travel in the early game and movement around the map dependent on your stamina bar, it does get quite tedious running from point A to point B and running then from point B to point A in the early game. While we're on the topic of quests, I'm gonna dive into a different type of quest where I think Dragon's Dogma does not do very well, and it's the side quests. Although now that I think about it, it's not really the side quests per se. I think it's a combination of a lot of things that Dragon's Dogma does wrong, in my opinion, because the side quests tell you to go to a certain area and just kill something or pick up something and bring it to someone else. That's usually what the side quests are, and that's okay. They're completely optional. You don't have to do them, right? But in a game like Dragon's Dogma, where leveling up and grinding is actually kind of a necessity, because that's basically the only thing that you do in the game. You get stronger to kill the dragon. You're gonna end up doing these things. But the thing is, most of these side quests, you don't know exactly where to go to find these things. So you're exploring the whole map, exploring the whole area. While you're running around, your travel time is dependent on the stamina of your character. And then the combat gets kind of repetitive, and I'll touch on that on a later note. The world looks actually kind of bland, and I'll also touch on that later on. All these combined with each other, and then the fact that there's so many of these quests, kind of just like takes you away a little bit too much from the main storyline of the quest. You're doing so many of these side quests, you're doing so many of these generic go here, kill these quests. You just either lose interest in doing side quests or you lose interest in doing the main quest. Now don't get me wrong, I did just finish this game as of making of this video with around 55 hours clocked in for the main game and a little bit of exploring in Bitter Black Isle for the Dark Arisen expansion, if I'm not mistaken. But I cannot deny how tedious doing the side quests were. Now, if the world was a little bit more colorful and a little bit more alive, then maybe side quests would have been a thing. Also, if the world had more explorable areas, then probably the side quests in the game would have been better. I think that's a huge problem because most of the areas in Dragon's Dogma kind of look the same, and most of the enemies are just revamped versions of enemies that you see in the early game. It doesn't pique the interest of the player to actually start hunting these things because they already know what they look like. They already kind of know how they fight. I really do feel like the side quests are like a collateral damage out of all these other things the game does wrong. now I've bashed the escort quest, I've bashed the side quest, and I think I might also even bash the main quests here. So I kind of felt that there was no main direct approach to the storyline of Dragon's Dogma. Obviously, when you're playing an RPG game, when you want to progress the main storyline, you do the main quests. You know, that's when you learn of new places, learn of new people who are essential to the story, correct? In Dragon's Dogma, not so much. So I had this experience once where I was just traveling around Granzis, around the northeastern side of Granzis. I was just suddenly pulled into a cutscene where I met this super important dude named the Dragon Forge. But the problem here was I was just out there doing side quests. I was out there exploring and grinding. Then suddenly I got pulled into a main storyline thing. I was introduced suddenly to somebody who was important to the main storyline. I felt like the game didn't build it up. If this guy was so important, the game should have built him up to be that, and not just me randomly running around and finally finding him there. And that was a very weak moment in the game for me, and I really felt down because I was playing off stream. I wanted to do all the important main storyline quests on stream, and I just didn't expect to find a really important NPC while I was just exploring out in the woods. I'm done kind of like showing the flaws that I saw with the quests. Now I'm going to move on to gameplay related issues. And the first thing that I'm going to mention is about the vocations. You get 3 vocations in the beginning. You get your standard warrior, mage, and archer vocations. And then very early on in the game, you get to switch to around, I think, 6 more vocations after that. Thing is, the time it takes for you to be able to switch from one vocation to the next is way too fast in my opinion, because the number of skills that each vocation has is very limited. I get that the game wants you to play different vocations to get different passives and different skills that you can use with other vocations, and then build up like this skill pool that you can use with any vocation that you want. That was kind of a flaw for me though, because when I play an RPG game, I always imagine how I would be inside that game. And I always imagine myself as a person who would use a two-handed sword, like a great sword or something, like a warrior build. And so I could easily progress from the fighter class to the warrior class very early on in the game, max out my vocation very early on in the game, and then also get all the skills very early on in the game. I kind of just wish that each class had more skills and that I didn't have to mix and match the classes to get like an ideal build during the end game. So like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play as other classes before I want to play the class that I really want to play. But don't get me wrong though, even if you just stick to one vocation, you will be able to trash anything in the main game as just that class. It's just that it gets boring really easily. And gameplay, the combat is supposed to be where this game shines. Now, I know this game came out in 2012, it's dated, but the thing is, the game is actually really good. I would not have finished this game and dived in it like 55 hours into it just to say that I don't like the game. I love it. I still have it on my PC, and I still plan to finish the Dark Arisen DLC. The main quest storyline is just, oh my gosh, it's just basically... And there's nothing wrong with this, okay? There's nothing wrong with the main quest storyline being get stronger to kill the dragon. That's basically it. That's basically the main quest storyline. Get stronger to kill the dragon. While you're getting stronger to kill the dragon, you're being put into these main quests that introduce you to these characters that the game just doesn't connect you with. There's this main quest where you also get introduced to this like female knight. You meet with her at the beginning of the game. And then the next time that you meet with this person legitimately, like to actually really talk to this person in the main quest, is way at the end. At that quest, they introduce so many like personal issues with this character, but the game hasn't given you enough time to connect with the character. So it just feels like, okay, what the heck's happening? I was here to like stop a rebellion. Why is this quest all about you making drama about people not expecting stuff for you because you are a freaking girl? There's just a lot of characters that were underdeveloped in this game. I gotta admit, the last moments of the game were just spot on. The last moments of the game were just bleh. The beginning of the game and the ending of the game were so good. The middle part, getting to the ending, is just everything from the encounter with the dragon up to the next encounter, the final encounter, is just so good. I can see why people really love this game. You can make like super awesome builds, OP builds with this. There's some like online co-op bosses things going on there. This game has content, it's just that most of the content is kind of tedious to do. Again, I did not make this video because I wanted to bash Dragon's Dogma. I just wanted to express this because I really like this game, but there was just a lot of things holding it back. I think that's gonna be the end of the video. If you guys like the video, please do leave a like and consider subscribing. If you guys have anything to talk about, please leave it in the comment section below. If you guys disagree with the things that I said here or agree with them, leave them in the comment sections below. Let's have a discussion about it. I would love to know what you guys think. I also stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Philippines time. That is where I usually play these games. I'm a variety streamer. People suggest games for me to play, I play them, and then at the end, if I like them or not, I kind of like make a review about them. I actually even kind of pre-review them while I'm streaming, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave the link to my Twitch in the description box below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. All right guys, I'm out. Peace.